All right, y'all. We are live on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon. Blessings to everybody in the name of Jesus, Yeshua, the Messiah. Even if you are not religious, I still pray you are super blessed in many ways as we are trading the volatility of these crazy markets during the most volatile time of the month. That's right, FOMC today. In approximately, let's say, 13 minutes, our good friend Jerome Powell, the man who holds the future of the fiat dollar in the palm of his hand, is going to come out and tell us what the interest rates are going to be. And here's the thing, guys. They are forecasted right now to be the exact same as they were last month. Okay, we can see here that really for the past two FOMC meetings, they have done nothing with the rates, right? They raised them 50, 25 basis points, and that's where they have stuck. Now, one thing we know for certain, the volatility is about to get absolutely insane. Not only for the Bitcoin price, but also for the S&P 500 and potentially even for the dollar, as the S&P 500 is rallying like a wild woman in distress, running through the wilderness with a laundry basket on her head, looking strangely like Janet Yellen with a very toned six-pack midsection, because indeed she did purchase the 6-second abs from TV on an infomercial late at night. Here's the thing, guys. 6-second abs, great for the abs, bad for the triple chin. You can see a bearish divergence on her face. Does that mean we are going to see a pump or a dump on the S&P 500? I do not know, but one thing I do know is that your boy is still long on SPX, and I'm hodling for higher prices from the setup that we gave in the Casper Crew VIP Discord. Long on SPX, baby, and I am also in multiple Bitcoin trades, as we can see over here, and so I am ready for the volatility. Bring it on, guys, because if we dump, we are short from the trade setup that we gave in the Casper Crew last week. And if we pump from here, well, I've been compounding longs along the way up this entire time, baby. So let's bring it on. In about 11 minutes, our good friend Jerome Powell is going to come out here and make a decision. And this decision is going to impact the markets. One thing we know for certain, massive amounts of volatility is about to ensue. We're going to see a giant Darth Maul candle, a massive wick to the upside, a massive wick to the downside, and then the markets are indeed going to pick a direction. This is a crucial time for the Bitcoin price right now, because when we take a look at what has happened for the past few weeks, we can clearly see that the price has broken out of a very, very important area of resistance. Would you check it out? We have broken out above the high volume node of the previous bull market, showing that indeed market participants want Bitcoin to be trading at higher prices, and our next target to the upside based on volume is approximately $49,000, another 18% to the upside. Is this news coming out going to impact the markets? Well, everyone thinks that the Fed is just going to keep rates the same. What if they lower rates? Could be a little bit bullish for Bitcoin. The other thing we need to keep in mind is that the Bitcoin price has, on a local time frame right now, changed market structure. Right? We were making higher highs and higher lows, nice and beautiful. But what has happened? We have now come down to make locally a lower low. Locally a lower low. The first sign of weakness on the chart. And if we go to a higher term time frame like the daily, we can see very much so that we could very easily fill this. Boom, 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 boom. Coming all the way down to around that $37,500 area, which is our last low on the daily time frame. Okay, so unless the Bitcoin price comes down below this previous low that we made here at approximately $37,500, we are still in bullish market structure. However, we recognize the fact how easily we can fall back down here because there is literally no support. And although we can't know for certain what the markets are going to do, we can know for certain that the volatility is about to ensue. We are living in crazy times, and things are about to get even more crazy as we witness. Whoa, I didn't mean to draw that. As we witness, that's what I'm talking about. these markets react to the decision. We are going to be watching it live, baby. Listening to our good friend JP as he discusses the future of what the heck? How did they get on contracts? Hang on. There we go. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Guys, we got about 900 people in here, about 100 likes. Let's see if we can't get the likes up to the watchers. Shout out to everybody who liked the stream. God bless you all. May God bless you all. Shout out to Leggett Killer. He says support in 40K, not worried. Shout out to Nem. He says music volume a little bit down. The music is too loud, says somebody else. Is the music a little bit too loud? All right, we could lower the music a little bit, guys. We're trying to keep it hype, all right? But let's lower it down a little bit, all right? Let's lower it down a little bit. Let me know how that works for you guys, all right? I'm going to lower it here manually. All right, there we go. Let me know how that works for you guys. Let me know in the chat if the volume's good. Shout out to Rendell. He says, good morning, Jay. Good morning, Rendell. My fine carnivore crypto friend. Shout out to Aspera Agency. What about gold? We should take a look at gold. All right. Shout out to J-Boy Bullish. Shout out to RM. Shout out to Abdel Lack. Shout out to Dorian. He says it's not too loud. Some people say it's too loud. Shout out to J Money. Shout out to No Limits Cushmaster. It's not loud enough, baby. That's what we're talking about. As Bitcoin today has gotten what I like to call a chickens drinking water high or low combo, we are, interestingly enough, trading right now in what appears to be the breakout of what some might call a descending triangle, which textbook is kind of a bearish pattern, right? Now, we all know how much Bitcoin loves to play games with our soul and our heart, leading us along like that girl in high school who I tried to ask out on a date, right? I thought she was going to go out with me. I thought she was. Turns out I was in the friend zone. Didn't know I was in the friend zone. Oftentimes we see Bitcoin in the friend zone. We think we're breaking out. We think we're going steady. But then a lot of times we do see these fake outs and then reversals. So that is one thing we do need to be aware of. Also, something else that we do need to be aware of is the fact that this bottom right now actually does look pretty nice on Bitcoin. Why? Well, it's because we came down, we made our first bottom, and then we came down on most exchanges, and we got what's known as a chickens drinking water pattern, right? What is a chickens drinking water pattern? It is where you establish a low, like we have right here, and then price wicks down below that low and gets a really quick buyback, right? Just like the way a chicken drinks water, okay? If you look at a chicken drinking water, look at how she takes her beak, right? The beak, the water is that first low that we made here, right? So we've got our this yellow line is the water right here, right? We've established the water level right here, okay? And then the chicken is the price. She takes her beak, dips it down, zoop, and then laps it back up. Look at this chicken go. Uh-oh. Watch her go. Here we go. Watch. Bam! All right, she dips her beak down to the water and then laps it back up. I don't know if you guys have chickens. If you don't, what are you doing with your life? If you do, don't you love the way they drink like that? I absolutely love it. Ever since we got that low, look at this. We came up, we made a high, and we came back down and got a back test right from the area between the golden pocket and the 786. So, if the bottom really is in here, this is actually looking pretty nice, all right? Now, we've got right now about 5 minutes until our good friend Jerome Powell comes out of the closet and talks about the interest rates. We're excited for it, okay? Now, this is more exciting than that time that I graduated high school after getting my degree in trans non-carbon binary emission studies. This is a picture of me back then. This is before I got into crypto, but I was very excited to get that degree because that degree changed my life. Couldn't get a job in trans non-carbon binary emission study that no one was hiring. It forced me into crypto. Best decision of my dang life. All right, now here's the thing. We got 4 minutes, okay? We got 4 minutes. What is happening right now? Let's take a look at the markets, all right? What is happening on this actual order book? Would you look at this? We are right now seeing millions of longs pile on. What does that mean? People are betting right now that the market is going to go up. People are betting that the news is going to be bullish. Would you look at this? This is absolutely insane. We have 2 million longs opening in this one candle, 12 million longs opening in this one candle, 14 million longs opening up in this one candle. We are seeing the open interest increase, meaning people are risking their actual capital. They're putting their money up for risk. I'm risking everything. I've taken out a second mortgage following after Michael Saylor to long Bitcoin right now, 100x leverage, because they are betting that when Jerome Powell makes this decision, the price is going to pump. And we're seeing us kind of flatline here. It's that moment, the calm before the storm, as we have 3 minutes until the news will be released over on forexfactory.com. In fact, we have our countdown clock right here, guys. 2 minutes and 21 seconds, and then we are going to witness Bitcoin go on a massive pump or dump. And I'll be honest with you guys, if we do dump, we could come down kind of low. As you see, I've got targets all the way down to 32K. It could happen pretty fast if we lose 37.5. If we lose 37.5, don't be surprised if we get a massive crazy dump. 37.5, why is that such a key level? Again, guys, it's because on the daily time frame, 37.5 is the last higher low that we have made in this uptrend, which means if we come back down below 37.5, we've officially changed market structure on the daily time frame for the first time since, let's see, since September 11th. Wow, talk about some Illuminati signaling going on right there. September 11th, sheesh, man. Bet you we got some 666s in here, 322 skull and bones. Shout out to my Illuminati handlers up in the house, baby. Bitcoin about to get a move with 1 minute and 12 seconds left on the dang clock before first down and timeout, and they score a dang goal. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Ahmad. Shout out to Megabit. He says, what do you think of Crypto Meteor? I don't know. Shout out to Brett 2 cents. Shout out to Dion Gang. He says 33K bottom. Interesting. That would front run everybody, right? Could happen. Bitcoin loves to front run everybody. We're going to lose it, says Dion Gang. Dion Gang. Pineapple Love, 31K. Dion Gang says, dump it. Baby Jerome Powell has been buying the dip in bonk. Interesting. All right, here we go, baby. 33 seconds. 30 seconds. I got butterflies in my stomach, guys. I don't know if you can feel what I feel, but I'm feeling that feeling as we have 20 seconds until we absolutely go absolutely crazy, all right? And I can't think of any other adjective to use except absolutely. Okay, why? Once again, it's because all I learned in college was trans non-carbon binary emission studies. We didn't learn English. Here we go, baby. Let's see what Bitcoin's gonna do. Well, here we go, baby. We are getting a little move to the upside, taking out this little high right here. Okay, and immediately we've taken the liquidity and we're getting a little drop to the downside. Chicken's drinking water, baby. Would you look at that? We've taken that last high, now we're starting to get a move to the downside. Let's see what the news has come out as. Boom! No change! Exactly as predicted. Exactly as predicted. Shout out to all the Jerome Powell analysts out there predicting his exact prediction. You guys are amazing. Now look at this insane volatility happening on the markets. We're going to go down to the 1 minute time frame. Would you look at that candlestick? Look at how we came up to take the liquidity from the highs, only to drop it back down. Are we going to see follow through, or are we going to get a breakout? Are we going to get a bullish break? Let's see how the stock market has been affected. Boom, baby. Stock market pumping like a wild woman right now in distress, running through the wilderness with that laundry basket on her head, looking like Janet Yellen. Look at this candle, the 1 hour candle on the S&P 500, y'all. It is absolutely juicy. We were getting a little bit of a pullback today. We've got a trigger wave on market Cipher B printing right now. Looks kind of like a hidden bullish divergence continuation pattern, and the dollar is tanking right now. Exactly what we wanted to see. We've wanted to see the dollar come back down and take this low, dip a little bit lower into the golden pocket. Let's let Bitcoin hit her bullish targets. All right. Bitcoin is breaking out of our yellow trend line of resistance right here. Bam, baby. Here we go. Bitcoin pumping right now. Okay, now we need to be taking a look at our Bitcoin chart. All right, we really do need to be looking right now at this Bitcoin chart. Let's go to the 1 hour time frame here, because we're not out of the woods yet. Why? because we do have just above us, even if we keep pumping, if we take the Fibonacci retracement from the high to the low, we have that Fibonacci golden pocket coming up right around this area. And if there's one thing we all know about the Fibonacci golden pocket, that 618 level, 6 Juanita, my high school crush, the one who rejected me, the one who left me with purple candles flowing from my heart. Why? Because I was in the friend zone. She rejected us. Now, why did she reject us? Well, it's because she wasn't into me, right? She was into other men. I was too nice of a guy. She was into bad men. Like our friend Sam Bankman-Fried, upside down with his crooked chesticles. This is known as a bearish divergence. If we come up to a level with a bearish divergence, that means 6 Juanita is not interested. But I will tell you this. Right now, the 6-minute time frame is actually looking kind of bullish. I don't really see any bearish divergences. I don't really see that upside down Sam Bankman-Fried man-boo pattern. It's actually a little bit ambiguous. Depending on how slow or fast we get up there, it's a little bit ambiguous, okay? Now keep in mind, when we get volatility like this, when the news comes out, we pump or dump right away. It's not until he starts his speech where the market actually chooses a direction. So don't be fooled by what's happening right now, all right? We are getting the pump, baby. The news is bullish. And here's the deal. Just so everybody knows what I'm doing, first of all, shout out to everybody in the live stream right now. God bless you all right? I am in a schlong trade right now. I am short and long at the same time. I've shorted the top from the trade setup that we gave in advance in the Casper Crew VIP Discord. I've compounded a long also from one of the setups we gave in the Casper Crew VIP Discord. And the reason why I do this, guys, is because if my trading style is I take a trade, I guarantee a locked-in profit, I realize profit, I move the stop loss to the entry, and then, no matter what happens, I do not even care, right? If this short gets stopped out, I don't care. Why? Because I've already realized $3,000 of profits, right? And then I also shorted it from another account where I've realized $7,000 of profits. So yes, I'm leaving money on the table here, but I've already guaranteed a $10,000 win. And here's the thing. If we pump, guess what? These long trades are going to be making the profits that the short trade left on the table. So here we go. This is very key. We are approaching right now the next major zone of resistance. Okay, the next major zone of resistance for Bitcoin is right here. Let's take a look. Bam! We've got this level right here, 42,490. This is going to be key. This is the top of the local range that we have been trading. Okay, we also know we have our Fibonacci from the high to the low, coming in just above that, right? So we do have a very important area. And then, of course, the 786 Fibonacci is once again above the 618 Fibonacci. The 786 Fibonacci is also 6 Juanita's older sister. 6 Juanita rejected me because she was into another man. The 786 rejected me because she wasn't into men. Kind of same, but different, okay? She's coming up there, a little bit higher. And we do need to be aware of the 786 at around 43,800, because if we take a look at 43,800, we can see two very important things. All right, not only is it the 786 Fibonacci, but also if we take a look at all the volume that we traded here, it's also the high volume node of that entire range, right? So we have a pretty nice confluence at that 786 area, all right? We also have some other important levels there. So really, here's the thing, guys, all right? Here's the thing. We do need to be aware right now of these highs for Bitcoin. If we can reclaim, I will be extremely bullish on the Bitcoin price if we can reclaim this key level of 43,900. That is like super key. We reclaim that, even if we get a rejection from here, but we come above it, I would expect now a higher low and then a breakout. That's really what I would expect. Okay, so we need to watch and wait, baby. Let's check on our good friend, the S&P 500. Bam! Look at that juicy 12-minute candle. All right. Looks like a SpaceX rocket, which will probably come back down to Earth any time now. And that's a little bit scary. We don't want it to come back down. We want it to blast off. Come on. Don't do this to us. All right. We have about 24 minutes until Jerome Powell opens his mouth to explain exactly why he decided all by himself, with no help from anybody else, all by himself, to make the decision to not raise the rates by any beats per second. He's going to explain. He's going to talk about this and that. He's going to read his paper. He's going to answer questions. When he makes that speech, then we are going to see which direction the market is really going to pick. So keep your eyes peeled, okay? Because we know the trickery happens during these speeches. We might reject here, or we might reject right from here. And if we don't do that, then we know it's most likely going to do something like this. And then boom, we will hit a new high on Bitcoin. Where are we going to hit? Well, if this truly is a bottom, then we can expect the next major Bitcoin target to come in at the exact price of, I'd say $49,000-ish. Why $49,000? Well, it just goes based on the volume that we've got here, right? When we were analyzing the bull market range that we've printed basically for like a year, right? We had this very important area of support. Let's make it a little bit thicker. We'll make it a little bit thicker. Bam. Okay? And then we had also the high point of control, which we have right here, very important level. And then also we have the value area high of this old range. And so look at how the levels are respected. What used to be support then became resistance twice again. Epic breakout. And so if this really is the bottom, we can expect a big pump up to the next area of resistance, which clearly we have none here until we get to this high, which is coming in right around $49,000. So that's going to be my next target for the Bitcoin, for these juicy long trades that we have open, baby, right now. All right. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go, Bitcoin. We got it right now in the long trades. I guess we got about 9K unrealized profits here. And if we pump, man, these are going to be some really, really juicy longs. Okay. I've also got another long open from one of the other setups that we gave in the Casper crew. Shout out to the Casper crew. You guys have been absolutely crushing it. Trading these low and high time frames, man. You guys are amazing. You inspire me. All right. Let's see who we have in the chat, man. Shout out to y'all. You guys are amazing. Shout out to Da Raugen Ro. Shout out to Elephant. He says, dump, baby. Dump this Bitcoin. Shout out to Brett 2 cents. Shout out to Legit Killer. Shout out to Crypto Carnage. You guys are absolutely amazing. God bless you all. Shout out to Aaron G with the wrench. He says, if you are new to the game, be very careful opening up positions right now. That is absolutely the truth. It's not a good time to be opening up new trades. That's kind of a gamble. Shout out to Joe Potter. Shout out to Janos. He wants to pump it, baby. Shout out to RM Ethereum to 3K. Yeah, so look, Ethereum can pump to 3K. When our good friend Jerome Powell begins to flap the old gums, guess what? The Ethereum price will probably... Look at this. Wow. Would you look at this? So, look at Ethereum right now. Breaking out of a ascending triangle pattern, right? We've broken out of the pattern. You could say that we've come even back down for a retest. Let's go to the 3-day. All right, we're going to go to the 3-day time frame. We have had this resistance, literally goes back to January 2022. Resistance, 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 breakout, retest. If this really is going to be bullish, the next volume target for Ethereum is going to be that $3,000 level. In fact, we have right around 3K. That's our last little area of resistance. And then, of course, we have that $3,300 golden pocket value area high combination. All right. It's a beautiful combination. It's a beautiful combination. It's like Greek yogurt and blueberries, guys. It's like Greek yogurt and blueberries. All right, let's check out our good friend, the S&P pumping. Man, S&P 500 is absolutely going nuts right now, guys. This is crazy. Okay, so look. I'll be honest with you guys. I have been bullish on the S&P for quite some time. All right. This long trade, my next target is, no joke, the all-time high. So I'm not going to be taking profits on this long until we hit the all-time high. It's the weekly time frame right here. Okay. This is the trade we gave in the Casper crew, man. We had a beautiful confluence down here at around 40.75-ish. At around 40.75. We came down to 4,100. Yep, 4,100. So we're looking around 4,100, around there, to 40.75. We had a beautiful area of confluence, a daily level, a potential liquidity grab. We took that dang liquidity, and now we have just gone straight to the moon ever since, baby. This is absolutely insane. This is absolutely insane. Yes, I think we're going to take out the high for a potential very juicy reversal. And right now my thesis is that we see the stock market make a high, get a little bit of a reversal. I'm also thinking we see the dollar get a dump, which it is right now. Let's see if this continues to play out. Dollar right now is getting a dump. I want to see it take this low. I want to see Bitcoin and the S&P make another little high, the dollar make another little low, and then we reverse everything. All right, let's see if we can't do it. We paused rates. That's neutral news. Shout out to everybody in the live stream. We've got about 1,600 people, only 400 likes. Let's see if we cannot get the likes to the watchers. Shout out to Brett 2 cents. Shout out to Infanti. I know, right? What a crazy move on the S&P. That is crazy. And look at this right now. This is the 12-minute chart. We'll go to the 15-minute chart. Look at that 15-minute candle, guys. This is a bullish engulfing candle. Let's go to the 1 hour. Look at that bullish engulfing candle. Bullishly engulfing on the 1 hour. That is not a bearish candle, baby. That is not a bearish candle. Okay, Bitcoin coming up to the highs. Here we come. We're super close. We might have even tapped it on MEXC. Not yet. Bitcoin coming up to the highs. S&P 500 getting a massively bullish engulfing candle on the 1 hour. Ethereum right now. Let's go to the 10-minute chart. Ethereum getting a little bit of a move to the upside here. Nothing too crazy, nothing like the ES. Okay, the dollar is getting that dump to the downside. It's the 4-hour chart. Let's go to the 1 hour, literally giving us a somewhat of a bearish engulfing candle. It's hard to say because we have ourselves a purple candle before this candle to the downside. Let's see what happens here. All right, let's see what happens here. I'm going to pull a local fib for the dollar. We're going to put on our 618. All right. If the dollar loses this 618, that means more downside is possible. The S&P 500 is just pumping like a wild lady. Bitcoin right now is flirting with this next high. All right. She is flirting with that next high. Let's go, baby. Gold is mooning. Let's check out gold. Gold is absolutely mooning right now. Let's check out gold. Oh, man. So gold, so interesting. Just hit a new all-time high. Did a liquidity grab with about a 3% wick. All right. I was actually kind of interested in looking for a short scalp on gold here, but with that big wick, it was not worth it for me. Gold is getting a pretty big move to the upside. And here's the thing about gold, right? Right now, I would consider gold to be trading within a sideways range. We have a pretty clear low around 1789 and a pretty obvious high around 2070. As long as we do not come below this low right here, this is objectively speaking still very bullish market structure because we have made a new high. Yes, we got the swing failure pattern, but if we don't change market structure, this is still bullish because we made our low, we made our first higher high, taking out that lower high on the way down. Then we made a higher low, and even if we don't include the wick, we made a higher high. And let's see where we come down to right now. We're gonna go ahead and pull our fib from the last major low on gold and see, did we get a bounce from one of the key fib levels? yeah, we are getting a really nice bounce right in between the 618 and the 786. We are seeing money flow increase. We are seeing momentum increase on the daily time frame. Let's go down to the 1 hour. Bullish divergences on the 1 hour time frame. Let's go to the 4 hour. Technically, we even have a bullish divergence on the 4 hour time frame, guys, for gold. All right, the last time we saw a bullish divergence on gold was right here at the last major low. The time before that on the 4 hour time frame was right here at the last major low. Here we are again, printing a bullish divergence on gold. The only thing that's a tad bit concerning is the money flow getting lower as gold is getting higher. That's the only thing that's a tad bit concerning. We also know gold is highly manipulated. But very, very, very interesting time seeing gold hit this new high. Very, very interesting times. If we can hold 1979, all right? If we can stay in the 80s, man. Right now we're in 2005, baby. Man, I wish it was 2005 again. I wish it was 2005 again. Don't you guys wish it was 2005 again? You know what I would do? I would drop out of middle school. Wait, now I was in high school. I would drop out of high school, work a job, McDonald's, save everything, and then buy Bitcoin in 2009, and then retire. That's what I would do if it was 2005. That's what I would do. That would be crazy. Y'all ever think about like the what ifs? If you could go back, make like a couple grand at McDonald's, save up like, you know, $10,000 working through your high school years, and then put it all into Bitcoin when it first comes out. Don't lose your day. Hard drive. Don't put it on Mt. Gox. Don't sell when it hits $1. Man, the what ifs are absolutely insane as Bitcoin is getting a little bit of a move to the downside. Let's check out the 5 minute. We are getting our first purple candle after the news has come out. We got a big blue, and now we're getting Barney the dinosaur coming back down to play with your kids. You don't know, is this creepy? Is this normal? We don't know. We just accept it, socially acceptable. A guy in a costume playing with a little kid, that's totally normal because it's on TV. We grew up with it. It's totally cool. We got Barney the dinosaur coming down. Let's see what's going to happen. Let's check out the order book. We're going to go to the 15-minute time frame. What is happening in real time here? Well, it's very interesting, but we saw the volume, interestingly enough, is lower at the news than it was here. Now that is known as a volume divergence. When the volume's getting lower as the price is getting higher, that's not very bullish, okay? This candle right over here was 39 million volume. This candle right here is only 26 million volume. All right, that's 13 million less than that other high. And let's check out what else. We did have a lot of longs, 4.5 million longs enter here, but we had 14 million longs enter here, and we had about 14 million longs enter here. So we have a lot more longs entering down here than we do at this top. Surprisingly, the volume's a little bit low. We're going to go down to the 5-minute time frame. Check out what's happening. All right. So this is the news candle. 17 million volume, 3 million longs happening on the news. Very, very different than this candle back here. This candle was a wild candle. This was a wild candle right here. Lots of longs and shorts fighting it out. This one, primarily longs. A lot of shorts actually getting wrecked on that move. And now we wait. We got our initial move up. Volume's coming down. We're going to go down to an even lower time frame. We got some longs popping in now. Do we have any bearish CVD? Nope. No bearish CVD. Let's wait another 10 minutes for our good friend Jerome to come out of the gate swinging to tell us what is going to happen, and the market will make a move. Looks like Barney the dinosaur didn't bring us down too far here, guys. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Drew. Shout out to Dylan Waves. Shout out to Renner. He says XRP, please. Shout out to Buck Carothers. Shout out to Legit Killer. Shout out to Carlos. All right, let's see. We got some people in the chat. 10 minutes until the Fed, baby. Shout out to Sports Billy 77. Shout out to J-Boy Bullish. Shout out to ED Davila. Hello to you, Mr. J. Casper. Thank you for the updates. Much love to you. Come on, people. Hit the likes. Learn to be thankful. Man, God bless you, EE. Davila. Guys, we got 1,700 people in here. We only have a few likes. Let's get the likes up to the watchers as Jerome Powell is about to come out. In fact, we're going to go right now to a website called Google. And we're going to Google the Federal Reserve live stream. We're going to load this baby up. We're going to get ready at 2:30 p.m. I'm excited. What's Bitcoin going to do, guys? Either way, we're going to be making juicy profits. And if we can get 1,000 likes on this video before Jerome Powell starts speaking, we will give away 1,000 USDT. How do you like on the YouTube app? You gotta click off the live chat, all right? Shout out to J Money. Shout out to Jab Straight Spam. He says, Jason, what website is it that you use to see the open interest and stuff? That is called ExoCharts, all right? Shout out to Alma Foshizzle. He's watching me, Tom Crown, and Tino at the same time. You know what? One of these days we have to do a triple collab during FOMC. That would be absolutely epic. That would be so epic. All right, baby. Bitcoin flirting with these highs. We're consolidating underneath resistance. All right, let's see. The dollar is in the golden pocket, getting a dump to the downside. Gold is still pumping to the upside like a wild Janet Yellen running through the wilderness. Let's check out our good friend, the S&P 500. Absolutely still pumping. Absolutely still pumping. Shout out to Yoga Essentials from Dubai. Shout out to Black Ghost. Shout out to Keith Jeffs. Shout out to Aaron G. telling the people on the mobile how to like, baby. We got only 250 more likes in the next 6 minutes, and we can do a $1,000 giveaway, baby. There's our good friend Janet Yellen. Let's see now what is happening in the order book. Okay, we have some shorts opening up. Very locally, people are trying to short it. People don't know what to do. We're waiting for our good friend JP. All right, our good friend JP to begin speaking. And I'm just sitting here on the sidelines, guys. Well, I'm not on the sidelines. I'm in trades, but I'm sitting here really to see which direction we're going to go. I painstakingly gotten into these trades to put myself in a position so when the volatility comes in, man, we are going to be making the juicy profits. And we are only 200 likes away in the next 5 minutes to do a $1,000 giveaway. All right. So, shout out to Infanti. Shout out to Ionco Petca. He says, click the effing like. Shout out to Crypto Street Turd. It's just begun. It's going to go way higher. Guys, put a 1 in the chat if you think we're going to pump. Put a 0 in the chat if you think we're going to dump. 1 in the chat if we're going to pump. 0 in the chat if we are going to dump. They already paused. We know. But look, there's going to be a speech. All right, there's a speech. Shout out to Pine Island Seeds. He says, 2 of my favorite things, homesteading and trading. Me too, man. What a coincidence. All right, we got some pumpers in the chat, baby. We got a lot of people who say we're going to pump. And we got a lot of people who say we are going to go straight down to Sheol. We got about an equal number in here. We got about an equal number. Alrighty. Well, we're getting a little bit of a, once again, Barney the Dinosaur. Hanging out with your kids after kindergarten. Another little purple candle coming down here. Alright. So let's see. We've got ourselves a little sideways range going on. Alright. Wow. Let's see how this baby plays out. Alright. Let's see how this baby plays out. 4 minutes. We only need 108 likes. We need 108 likes. Let's do it, guys. Let's do it. All right, we got 4 minutes. All right. All right. 4 minutes. All right. Someone's at my front door, guys. Someone's at my front door. Give me 1 second. I got to check who that is. We got 3 minutes. Give me 1 second. Like the stream. All right, everything's all good, guys. Everything's all good. We had somebody come by to mark some things out for us, so we are 2 minutes away from Jerome Powell, and he's knocking at the door, telling you to long everything. Here we go, guys. Bitcoin's about to pump right now. We got a blue candle pumping out the wazoo, coming over to XO charts. Shorts are opening up like crazy, guys. This is actually quite bullish right here locally. What we have right here is a low, a high, a higher low. As we make the higher low, we are seeing lots of shorts now opening up just before Jerome Powell speaks. The suspense is killing me. All right? The suspense is killing me. Are we going to dump or are we going to pump, baby? I don't know. 1 minute until our good friend Jerome Powell, who's actually a Frenchman, Jerome Powell, is going to speak and open up his mouth. Shout out to everybody in the chat. All right. We got 1 minute, guys. 1 minute, and we only need 13 more likes. Can we do it? Can we get 13 likes in 1 minute? Dang, we didn't do it. We missed it by 9 likes? That's insane. We missed it by 3 likes. Dang. That is insane. All right, let's tune into our good friend JP. All right, let's tune into JP. Here we go. Nothing yet. All right, we're gonna put back on some cool music while we're waiting for him. All right, I'll give it to you guys. I'll give it to you. I'll give you the giveaway. We're doing a giveaway. At the end of this stream, we are going to do a giveaway. All right, we got this, guys. We're going to give away $1,000. Congratulations. You guys are amazing. All right, here we go. Here we go.
It's natural to look back on the progress that has been made toward our dual mandate objectives. Inflation has eased from its highs, and this has come without a significant increase in unemployment. That's very good news. But inflation is still too high, ongoing progress in bringing it down is not assured, and the path forward is uncertain. As we look ahead to next year, I want to assure the American people that we're fully committed to returning inflation to our 2% goal. Restoring price stability is essential to achieve a sustained period of strong labor market conditions that benefit all. Since early last year, the FOMC has significantly tightened the stance of monetary policy. We've raised our policy interest rate by 5.25 percentage points and have continued to reduce our securities holdings at a brisk pace. Our actions have moved our policy rate well into restrictive territory, meaning that tight policy is putting downward pressure on economic activity and inflation, and the full effects of our tightening likely have not yet been felt. Today, we decided to leave our policy interest rate unchanged and to continue to reduce our securities holdings. Given how far we have come, along with the uncertainties and risks that we face, the committee is proceeding carefully. We will make decisions about the extent of any additional policy firming and how long policy will remain restrictive based on the totality of the incoming data, the evolving outlook, and the balance of risks. I will have more to say about monetary policy after briefly reviewing economic developments. Recent indicators suggest that growth of economic activity has slowed substantially from the outsized pace seen in the third quarter. Even so, GDP is on track to expand around 2.5% for the year as a whole, bolstered by strong consumer demand as well as improving supply conditions. After picking up somewhat over the summer, activity in the housing sector has flattened out and remains well below the levels of a year ago, largely reflecting higher mortgage rates. Higher interest rates also appear to be weighing on business fixed investment. In our summary of economic projections, committee participants revised up their assessments of GDP growth this year, but expect growth to cool, with the median projection falling to 1.4% next year. The labor market remains tight, but supply and demand conditions continue to come into better balance. Over the past 3 months, payroll job gains averaged 204,000 jobs per month, a strong pace that is nevertheless below that seen earlier in the year. The unemployment rate remains low at 3.7%. Strong job creation has been accompanied by an increase in the supply of workers. The labor force participation rate has moved up since last year, particularly for individuals aged 25 to 54 years, and immigration has returned to pre-pandemic levels. Nominal wage growth appears to be easing, and job vacancies have declined. Although the jobs-to-workers gap has narrowed, labor demand still exceeds the supply of available workers. FOMC participants expect the rebalancing in the labor market to continue, easing upward pressures on inflation. The median unemployment rate projection in the SEP rises somewhat from 3.8% at the end of this year to 4.1% at the end of next year. Inflation has eased over the past year, but remains above our longer-run goal of 2%. Based on the Consumer Price Index and other data, we estimate that total PCE prices rose 2.6% over the 12 months ending in November, and that, excluding the volatile food and energy categories, core PCE prices rose 3.1%. The lower inflation readings over the past several months are welcome, but we will need to see further evidence to build confidence that inflation is moving down sustainably toward our goal. Longer-term inflation expectations appear to remain well anchored, as reflected in a broad range of surveys of households, businesses, and forecasters, as well as measures from financial markets. As is evident from the SEP, we anticipate that the process of getting inflation all the way to 2% will take some time. The median projection in the SEP is 2.8% this year, falls to 2.4% next year, and reaches 2% in 2026. The Fed's monetary policy actions are guided by our mandate to promote maximum employment and stable prices for the American people. My colleagues and I are acutely aware that high inflation imposes significant hardship as it erodes purchasing power, especially for those least able to meet the higher costs of essentials like food, housing, and transportation. We're highly attentive to the risks that high inflation poses to both sides of our mandate, and we are strongly committed to returning inflation to our 2% objective. As I noted earlier, since early last year, we have raised our policy rate by 5.25 percentage points. and we have decreased our securities holdings by more than $1 trillion.
And open interest.
Our restrictive
Let's see what
stance of
happens here.
monetary
Longs and
policy
shorts
is putting
closing out right
downward
now.
pressure on economic activity and inflation.
We're heading up to
The
our
committee
golden
decided
pocket.
at today's meeting to maintain the target range for the federal funds rate at 5.25% to 5.5%, and to continue the
looks bullish
process
on the low
of
time frames.
significantly reducing our securities holdings. While we believe that our policy rate is likely at or near its peak for this tightening cycle, the economy has surprised forecasters in many ways since the pandemic, and ongoing progress toward our 2% inflation objective is not assured. We are prepared to tighten policy further if appropriate. We're committed to achieving a stance of monetary policy that is sufficiently restrictive to bring inflation sustainably down to 2% over time, and to keeping policy restrictive until we're confident that inflation is on a path to that objective. In our SEP, FOMC participants wrote down their individual assessments of an appropriate path for the federal funds rate based on what each participant judges to be the most likely scenario going forward. While participants do not view it as likely to be appropriate to raise interest rates further, neither do they want to take the possibility off the table. If the economy evolves as projected, the median participant projects that the appropriate level of the federal funds rate will be 4.6% at the end of 2024, 3.6% at the end of
S&P is pumping,
2025,
baby.
and 2.9% at the end of 2026,
Let's go.
still above the median longer-term rate. These projections are not a committee decision or plan. If the economy does not evolve as projected, the path of policy will adjust as appropriate to foster our maximum employment and price stability
Look,
goals.
I'm going to set a take profit right now for a long at a new
In light
high,
of the
baby.
uncertainties and risks and how far we have come, the committee is proceeding carefully. We will continue to make our decisions meeting by meeting based on the totality of the incoming data and their implications for the outlook
We know
for
this is
economic activity
resistance.
and inflation,
But
as
if we
well as the
reclaim
balance
it,
of
man,
risks.
we're pumping. We get through this box,
In
we're
determining
pumping.
the extent of any additional policy firming that may be appropriate to return inflation to 2% over time, the committee will take into account the cumulative tightening of monetary policy, the lags with which monetary policy affects economic activity and inflation, and economic and financial developments. We remain committed to bringing inflation back down to our 2% goal and to keeping longer-term inflation expectations well anchored. Restoring price stability is essential to set the stage for achieving maximum employment and stable prices over the longer run. To conclude, we understand that our actions affect communities, families, and businesses across the country. Everything we do is in service to our public mission. We at the Fed will do everything we can to achieve our maximum employment and price stability goals. Thank you. I look forward to your questions.
Thank you. Chris Rugaber at Associated Press. I wanted to ask, how should we interpret the addition of the word any before additional firming in the statement? I mean, does that mean that you're pretty much done with rate hikes and the committee has shifted away from a tightening bias and toward a more neutral
ETH
stance?
is pumping,
Thank you.
Solana pumping, Chainlink pumping again. Everything's pumping
Specifically
right now.
on any, we do say that in determining the extent of any additional policy firming that may be appropriate,
Look
so
at
any
those.
additional policy
Pumping.
firming, that sentence. So we added the word any as an acknowledgement that we believe that we are likely at or near the peak rate for this cycle. Participants didn't write down additional hikes that we believe are likely, so that's what we wrote down. But participants also didn't want to take the possibility of further hikes off the table. So that's really what we were thinking.
Mr. Chairman, the microphone, sorry. Steve Leisman, CNBC. Happy holidays, Mr. Chairman. Fed Governor Chris Waller said that if inflation continues to fall, then the Fed in the next several months could be cutting interest rates. I wonder if you could comment on whether you agree with Fed Governor Waller on that the Fed would become more restrictive if it didn't cut rates if inflation fell. Thank you, sir.
So, of course, I don't comment on any other officials, even those who work at the Fed. But I'll try to answer your question more broadly. So the way we're looking at it is really this. When we started out, right, we said the first question is how fast to move, and we moved very fast. The second question is really how high to raise the policy rate. And that's really the question that we're still on here. We're very focused on that. As I mentioned, people generally think that we're at or near that, and think it's not likely that we will hike, although they don't take that possibility off the table. So that's, when you get to that question, and that's your answer, there's a naturally begins to be the next question, which is when it will become appropriate to begin dialing back the amount of policy restraint that's in place. So that's really the next question, and that's what people are thinking about and talking about. And I would just say this: we are seeing strong growth that appears to be moderating. We're seeing a labor market that is coming back into balance by so many measures, and we're seeing inflation making real progress. These are the things we've been wanting to see. We can't know. We still have a ways to go. No one is declaring victory. That would be premature. And we can't.
That's true. He's not going to give an answer. Shout out
so
to
we're moving carefully in making that assessment of whether we need to do more or not. That's really the question that we're on. But of course, the other question, the question of when will it become appropriate to begin dialing back the amount of policy restraint in place, that begins to come into view.
S&P heading to its all-time high, guys.
Topic
This
of
is
discussion
crazy
now
right
in the
now.
world, and also
Look
a
at this.
discussion for
Look
us
at this daily candle.
at our meeting today.
Dollar about to hit the 786.
Nature of that discussion today. Thank you.
Sure. So it comes up in this way today. Everybody wrote down an SEP forecast, so many people mentioned what their rate forecast was, and there was no back and forth, no attempt to sort of reach agreement, like this is what I wrote down, this is what I think, that kind of thing, and a preliminary kind of a discussion like that. Not everybody did that, but many people did. And I would say there's a general expectation that this will be a topic for us looking ahead. That's really what happened in today's meeting. I can't do the head count for you in real time, but that's generally what happened today.
Go to Rachel.
Ripple unaffected.
Hi, Chair Powell,
NASDAQ
Rachel Siegel
pumping
from the
like
Washington
crazy.
Post. Thanks for taking our questions.
Look at NASDAQ. That is
At
insane.
this point, can you confidently say that the economy has avoided a recession and isn't heading for one now? And if the answer is no, I'm curious about what you'd still be looking for.
I think you can say that there's little basis for thinking that the economy is in a recession now. I would say that. I think there's always a probability that there will be a recession in the next year, and it's a meaningful probability no matter what the economy is doing. So it's always a real possibility. The question is it? So it's a possibility here. I have always felt, since the beginning, that there was a possibility because of the unusual
We did not hit the yearly
situation
level on Bitcoin. That's
that
still
the
quite a
economy
bit
could
above
cool
us.
off in a way that enabled inflation to come down without the kind of large job losses that have often been associated with high inflation and tightening cycles. So far, that's what we're seeing. That's what many forecasters on and off the committee are seeing. This result is not guaranteed. It is far too early to declare victory. And there are certainly risks. It's certainly
Shout out to
possible
GTN Massimo.
that the economy will behave in an unexpected way. It has done that repeatedly through in the post-pandemic period. Nonetheless, where we are is we see the things that I mentioned.
I'm curious if you're looking back on the past year, you talked about
2
navigating
billion shorts
by the
opening
stars
up.
under cloudy
That's not
skies.
very
Can you
bearish.
talk about some of the ways in which the economy surprised you most this year, where you thought
That's
it
not
would
very
behave in one
bearish.
way and had to pivot to respond? Thanks.
So I think forecasters generally, if you go back a year, were very broadly forecasting a recession for this year, for 2023. And not only did that not happen, that includes Fed forecasters and really essentially all forecasters, a very high proportion of forecasters were expecting very weak growth or a recession. Not only did that not happen, we actually had a very strong year. And that was a combination of strong demand, but also real gains on the supply side. So this was the year when labor force participation picked up, where immigration picked up, where the distortions to supply and demand from the pandemic, the shortages and the bottlenecks really began to unwind. So we had significant supply side gains with strong demand, and we got what looks like a 2.5% plus or a little more than that growth year at a time when potential growth this year might even have been higher than that, just because of the healing on the supply side. So that was a surprise to just about everybody. I think the inflation forecast is roughly what people wrote down a year ago, but in a very different setting. And I would say the labor market, because of the stronger growth, has also been significantly better. If you look back at the SEP from a year ago, there was a significant increase in unemployment. That didn't really happen. We're still at 3.7%.
Shout out
so
to Divine Hood.
We've seen, strong
This is
growth.
very true, Divine Hood.
Still a tight
Very, very
labor
true.
market, but one that's coming back into balance with support from the
Yeah,
supply
the
side, greater
on-paper
supply of
markets
labor.
are
It's
the on-paper markets are way different than reality, right? That's why we play this game. We play this paper game. Take advantage of the system.
Thanks, Howard Schneider with Reuters, and thanks for taking the questions. I wonder if you could give a little more color or detail on what motivates the lower rates next year, whether it's a coincidence, for example, that the spread between PCE inflation, core inflation, and the federal funds rate stays constant over the year. Are you simply calibrating against the fall in prices, in the price level?
Look, it's not over
that
yet.
you're
We might not
expecting,
front
rate of
run the
inflation that you're
618. It's not
expecting,
over yet. Let's take a look at the
as
order
opposed to
book.
supporting the economy?
We got shorts
nothing
opening up,
quite that
guys.
Mechanical is happening. The SEP really is a bottoms up, built from the bottom up, right? So I think people are looking at.
I don't know.
what's
I think
happening
those
in the
shorts could get
economy.
squeezed,
And I think
honestly.
If you look at the big difference from September in the SEP, the expectations for inflation this year, both headline and core, have come down, really significantly in 3 months. That's a big piece of this. At the same time, growth is turned out to be very strong in the third quarter, is slowing, we believe, as appropriate. And we've had several labor market reports which suggest, again, significant progress toward greater balance across a broad range of indicators. You're seeing so many of the indicators coming back to normal, not all of them. But so I think that people look at that and they write down they basically each
Dow
individual
Jones just
writes
made an
down
all-time high.
a forecast and a rate forecast that goes with
S&P
that
500
forecast.
is on
We
its
tabulate
way.
them and publish
Dollar's
it.
dumping like a wild lady.
And so it's not, it isn't, you ask about real rates.
NASDAQ
I
is
take it,
pumping like a wild lady as well.
That is something that we're very
NASDAQ's
conscious
about
of
to
and
make a new
aware
all-time
of
high, guys.
And monitor. and
NASDAQ
it's
is about
certainly
to make a
big
new
part
all-time
of-
high.
It's a part of how we think about things, but really it's
This is
broader financial
yeah,
conditions
this is
that
the mini
matter.
future.
And
NQ,
as you well know,
NQ just made a new
it's still
all-time
hard
high.
to know exactly, what the
Wow.
real rate is, or exactly how tight policy is at any given time. So you couldn't follow that like it was a rule and think that you would get the right answer all the time. But it's certainly something that we're focused on. And indeed, if you look at the projections, I think the expectation would be that the real rate is declining as we move forward.
It sounds like the discussion over that, if I could follow up, has already kind of begun. I'm wondering, just related to Steve's question, how the tactics of this play out, given the slowing of inflation and the fact that the deeper you get into 2024, the closer you get to a presidential election. Do you want to front load this, in other words?
Yeah, no, we don't think about political events. We don't think about politics. We think about what's the right thing to do for the economy. The minute we start thinking about those things, we just can't do that. We have to think, what's the right thing? We'll do the things that we think are right for the economy at the time when we think is the right time. That's what we'll always do. So I mentioned we're moving carefully. One of the things we're moving carefully about is that decision over, that assessment really over whether we've done enough, really. And you see that people are not writing down rate hikes. That's us thinking that we have done enough, but not feeling that really strongly, confidently, and not wanting to take the possibility of a rate hike off the table. Nonetheless, it's not the base case anymore, obviously, as it was, 60, 90 days ago. So that's how we're approaching things. And as I mentioned, we wrote down this SEP, and it talks about people have individual assessments of when it will be appropriate to start to dial back on the tight policy we have in place. And that's a discussion we'll be having going forward, but that's another assessment that we're going to make very carefully
Shout out to Memory Man.
as time goes forward.
Nick.
QQQ to
Nick Timmeros from the
420.
Wall Street Journal. Chair Powell, you've argued over the last year that policy tightening started before you actually
ADA
lifted
about
off
to-
because
wow,
the
let's
market
check out ADA.
anticipated your moves and tightened on your behalf. The market is now easing policy on your behalf by anticipating a funds rate by next September That's a full point
Wow.
below the current
ADA is
level.
about to
cuts
make another
beginning
high,
around
guys.
March. Is this something that you are broadly comfortable with?
Let's see if ADA takes
So
these
this,
highs.
This last year has been remarkable for the sort of seesaw thing, back and forth we've had over the course of the year, of
We
markets
could.
moving away and
We
moving back and
absolutely
that
could.
kind of thing. So, and what I would just say is that we focus on what we have to do and how we need to use our tools to achieve our goals, and that's what we really focus on. And
Come on,
people are gonna
ES,
have
come
different
on.
forecasts about the economy.
Give us a big old pump.
And they're going to, those
That's
are going
gonna
to
be a
show up
big
in
move if
market
we get that.
conditions, or they won't, you know, but in any case, we have to do what we think is right. And, you know, in the long run, it's important that financial conditions become aligned or are aligned with what we're trying to accomplish. And in the long run, they will be, of course, because we will do what it takes to get to our goals. And ultimately, that will mean that financial conditions will come along. But in the meantime, there can be back and forth, and I'm just focused on what's the right thing for us to do, and my colleagues are focused on that too.
The markets seem to think inflation is coming down credibly. Do you believe we're at the point where inflation is coming down credibly?
Listen, I welcome the progress. I think it's really good to see the progress that we're making. I think if you look at the 12-month measure, look at the 6-month measures, you see very low numbers. If you look at 12-month measures, you're still well above 2%. You're actually above 3% on core through November at PCE. That isn't to say I'm not calling into question the progress. It's great. We just need to see more. We need to see continued further progress toward getting back to 2%. That's what we need to see. So it's our job to restore price stability, and that it's one of our two jobs along with maximum employment, and they're equal. So we're very focused on doing that. As I mentioned, we're moving carefully at this point. We're pleased with the progress, but we see the need for further progress. And I think it's fair to say there is a lot of uncertainty about going forward. We've seen the economy move in surprising directions, so we're just going to need to see more further progress.
Gina.
Gina Smilik, New York Times. Thanks for taking our questions. In the SEP from today, growth is notably below potential in 2024. If growth were to surprise us again in the way that it has for years now by being stronger than expected next year, would it still be possible to cut rates? Or put another way, is below trend growth necessary to cut rates, or would continued progress on inflation alone be sufficient?
So we'll look at the totality of the data. Growth is one thing. So is inflation, so is labor market data. So we'd look at the total, as we make decisions about policy changes going forward, we're going to look at all those things, and particularly about as they affect the outlook. It's ultimately all about the outlook and the balance of risks as well. So that's what we'd be looking for. If we have stronger growth, that'll be good for people, that'll be good for the labor market. It might actually mean that it takes a little longer to get inflation down to 2%. We will get it down to 2%. But if we see stronger growth, we'll
Inflation's
set
never
policy
going to be 2%.
according to what we actually see, and so
Unless
that's
they
how I would answer.
fundamentally change the system somehow.
I guess the question I'm asking, if you don't mind a quick follow-up, I guess the question I'm asking is above trend growth itself a problem?
It's only a problem it's not itself a problem. It's only a problem insofar as it makes it more difficult for us to achieve our goals. And if you have growth that's robust, what that will mean is probably will keep the labor market very strong. It probably will place some upward pressure on inflation. That could mean that it takes longer to get to 2% inflation. That could mean we need to keep rates higher for longer. It could even mean ultimately that we would need to hike again. It just is. It's the way our policy works.
Go to Neil.
Hi, Chair Powell. Neil Irwin with Axios. How do you interpret the state of the labor market right now? And in particular, you've referred even today to evidence that it's coming into better balance. What would you need to see to conclude that it has reached that balance?
So on the better balance side, just a lot of things. It's you see job growth still strong, but moving back down to more sustainable levels given population growth and labor force participation. the things that are not quite, but let me go on with that list. Claims are low. If you look at surveys of businesses, they're sort of the era of this frantic labor shortage are behind us, and they're seeing a shortage of labor is being significantly alleviated. If you look at shortages of workers, whereas they thought job availability was the highest it had ever been or close to it, that's now down to more normal levels by so many measures: participation, unemployment, so many measures, the unemployment, job openings, quits, all of those things. So wages are still running a bit above what would be consistent with 2% inflation over a long period of time. They've been gradually cooling off, but if wages are running around 4%, that's still a bit above, I would say. And I guess there are just a couple of other, the unemployment rate is very, very low. And these are, but I would just say overall, the development of the labor market has been very positive. It's been a good time for workers to find jobs and get solid wage increases.
Claire?
Jones, Financial Times. I'd say the mood among economists at the moment seems to be one of cautious optimism, which is somewhat corroborated by your forecast, by this sense that we are going to have a soft landing. Yeah, when we hear from the
Shout out to
general
Ricky.
public, there's a lot of discord about economic conditions. What do you think explains this disconnect, and does it matter for policymakers?
It may be. A common theme is that while inflation is coming down, and that's very good news, the price level is not coming down. Prices of some goods and services are coming down, but overall, in the aggregate, the price level is not good. So people are still living with high prices, and that is something that people don't like. And what will happen?
Shout out
with
to
that
Mackie
is
Mac, baby. Shout out to Flood
wages are
Expert,
now,
baby.
real wages are now positive, so that wages are now moving up more than inflation as inflation comes down, and so that might help improve the mood of people. But we do see those. We see those public opinion surveys. The thing that we can do is to do our jobs, which is to use our tools to foster price stability, which has such great benefits over such long periods of time, and which is the thing that really enables us to work for and achieve an extended period of high employment, which is so beneficial for, families and companies around the country.
Victoria?
Hi, Victoria Guido with Politico. I wanted to ask,
Lots of
on
shorts
the flip
opening up here,
side
guys,
of
like,
if things
mostly
start to
shorts opening
deteriorate
up right now.
rapidly, if we do fall into a recession, if we do start
These
to see
candles
unemployment
are-
rise,
we've
at
got,
sort of the levels of
uh,
inflation that we're seeing now, how would you all think about that
Like
in terms of rate cuts?
almost
Would that
4
be a
million
sign
shorts
that
opening up here.
You've done your job demand-wise?
Sorry, if
If the economy looks like it's starting to fall into recession, if
Volume
the
is definitely
jobless
low
rate starts to
comparatively.
rise.
that's not something we're hoping to see. Obviously, we're hoping to see something very different, which is continuation of what we have seen, which is the labor market coming into better balance without a significant increase in unemployment, inflation coming down
Actually,
without a
volume's
significant
not so
increase in
bad, to be honest
unemployment,
with you.
and growth
But they haven't done a
moderating
big decrease
without a
of
significant
OI.
increase in unemployment. That's what we're trying very much to achieve, and not something we're looking to see.
But would you take that as a signal that you should cut rates?
Obviously, what we'll do is we'll look at the totality of the data, as I've mentioned a couple of times, and certainly the labor data would be important in that. And if you can describe a situation like that where if there were the beginning of a recession or something like that, then yes, that would certainly weigh heavily in that decision.
Michael McKee from Bloomberg
This is
Television
ADA.
Radio. Mr. Chairman, you were, by your own admission, behind the curve in starting to raise rates to fight inflation. And you said earlier, again, the full effects of our tightening cycle have not yet been felt. How will you decide when to cut rates, and how will you ensure you're not behind the curve there?
So we're aware of the risk that we would hang on too long. We know that that's a risk, and we're very focused on not making that mistake. And we do regard the two, we've come back into a better balance between the risk of overdoing it and the risk of underdoing it. Not only that, we were able to focus hard on the price stability
AVAX,
mandate,
man. We
and
got
we're
the
getting back to
breakout, we
point
got the
where-
retest,
which is what you
just
do
as
when
we
you're very
wanted,
far from
and now we're
one of
heading
the-
up to our
one of the
next
two
target.
mandates.
44.58
You're getting now back
is
to
the next
point
target
where
on
both
AVAX.
mandates are important, and they're more in balance too. So I think we'll be very much keeping that in mind as we make policy going forward. And the things we'll be looking at, I've already described. We're obviously looking hard at what's happening with demand. And what we see the same thing other people see, which is a strong economy, which really put up quite a performance in 2023. We see good evidence and good reason to believe that growth will come in lower next year. And you see what the forecasts are. I think the median participant wrote down 1.4% growth, but we'll have to see. It's very hard to predict. We'll also be looking to see progress on inflation and the labor market remaining strong, but ideally without seeing the kind of large increase in unemployment that happens sometimes.
When you begin the cutting cycle, will it be essentially run the same way you do it now with raising rates, where you basically do trial and error cut and see what happens, or will you tie it to some particular measure of progress?
We haven't typically tried to articulate, with one exception, really specific target levels, which was, some of you will remember the thresholds that we used in, 2013. The answer is, these are things that we haven't, really worked out yet. We're sort of just at the beginning of that discussion.
Target for ADA.
Thank you, Mr.
target
Chairman.
is
Edward Lawrence with Fox Business. So if the Fed cuts rates, as the dot plot is showing, about 75 basis points, does that signal that there's a belief of weakness next year?
My target for ADA is 70 cents. That's my next target. But here's the thing,
if that were, first of all, let me just say,
if you're in a position and you're trying to make money and you're in profit,
so that's not something.
You better take some dang profit, all right? You don't have to close the whole dang trade or sell your whole stack. Right?
Whose SEP is right. We just say what
it doesn't have to be a yes or no kind of thing.
So it's important for people to know that, but it wouldn't need to be a sign of.
You could take some profit, let the rest ride.
Normalizing, and it doesn't need
That's how I roll.
tight policy.
All these trades.
The economy can evolve.
Taking profit, let the rest ride.
So, but it could be more what I just described.
J. Boy Bush shorted ADA.
Core inflation, we've heard from in other meetings. How sticky is core inflation right now?
Well, that's what we're finding out.
And
we've seen real progress.
Got the PP pump,
in core
PP
inflation.
corn?
It has been sticky, and famously, the service sector is thought to be stickier. But we've actually seen reasonable progress in non-housing services, which was the area where you would expect to see less progress. We are seeing some progress there, though. And in fact, all three of the categories of core are now contributing. Goods, housing services, non-housing services, they're all contributing at different levels, meeting by meeting, or rather report by report. So, yeah.
Okay, let's go to Katerina.
Katerina Saraiva, Bloomberg News. Thanks for taking our question.
Here we go, baby. Trying to get another push.
I just wanted to ask a little bit about, we had some pretty positive data this morning and yesterday. I'm assuming those were not incorporated into the forecast we see today.
Let's go,
but I just
baby,
wanted
S&P.
to ask, how that kind of adds to your thinking, on the inflation outlook.
Right. So we got CPI the morning of the first day, and we got PPI the next day,
Look at
which
that crazy move.
informs the translation into PCE. So it's very, very late.
Man, I
in
hope
the
we hit
game,
that target on S&P. All the other indices hit their all-time highs. Come on, baby.
Participants are allowed encouraged to update their SEP forecasts until probably mid-morning today.
All right, let's look at INJ.
So staff has to accumulate all of that and create the documents that you see. So until about mid-morning, maybe late morning, it's okay to update. And I believe some people did update their forecasts based on what we saw today.
It's also coming up to its high.
And do you see, how are you, when you think about, starting to think about the rate cuts next year or whenever they come, how do you, how do you think about the economy we're in now, kind of post-pandemic? Do you think that there's been significant structural shifts, and is that going to change how you look at a rate cut path?
The question of whether there have been fundamental structural shifts is a really
Shout
hard to
out
know
to
the
Crypto
answer.
Crank.
A very interesting one right now. The one that would affect.
She's going to peak, ready for shorts tomorrow, he says.
One that comes to mind, though, is just the question of where the neutral rate of interest is. And so, for example, if it's risen, and I'm not saying that it has, but if it were to have risen, that would mean that interest rates would need to be a little bit higher to convey the same level of restriction. The thing is, we're not really going to know that. You know, people will be writing papers about that 10 years from now and still fighting about it. So it's just that it's going to be uncertain. So we're going to be making policy in this, difficult, uncertain, really unprecedented environment. Someone once said that the natural rate.
All right, guys, we're going to give away 1,000 USDT right now. All right, we're going to give away 1,000 USDT right now. So what I need everybody to do in the YouTube chat, just send a message with your dang Tether address. All right, just send your Tether address in the YouTube chat. Spam the dang chat with your Tether address. It could be ERC20 or TRC20. Spam the dang chat. Spam the YouTube chat with your address. And what I'm going to do is I'm literally going to scroll the mouse randomly like this. That's how I'm going to do it. All right, that's how I'm going to do it. There's no rally thing. Just type your dang message in here. All right? And, oh, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? It's not working. It's not going to work, huh? It's editing out the freaking addresses. Ah! Oh my goodness. This is a huge pain in the butt. All right. All right. All right. Plan B, guys. Plan B. Plan B. Plan B. Plan B. All right, we got a plan B up in here. Plan B. I'm going to post a video. I'm going to post a video in the chat and pin it. You comment your address on the video. All right, my last video right here called Right Now. That the price did come down. We are going to post the link to this video in the YouTube chat. I'm going to pin the comment. If you don't know what a pinned comment is, you disqualify for the game, okay? I'm going to post it in the YouTube chat. You're watching me do it right now on your screen. Look, I'm posting it in the chat. In the YouTube chat, I'm going to pin the comment to the top of the screen. It will go to the top right up here. Okay, click on this video, click on this link, and comment your address. Let's see if it filters it out. If it filters it out, then we're going to have to go to Plan C. All right, we're going to have to go to Plan C. All right, let's see if it filters them out. That the price did. The only way to find out if it filters them out is to go to the back end of YouTube, go to comments, and go to held for review. Yep, it filters them out. Well, you know what? Dang it. This is such a pain in the butt. YouTube's so good with their anti-spam. All right. All right, it's time for Plan C. Plan C. All right, I'm going to delete that pinned comment. Plan C. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to make this as quick as possible for everybody. All right, it's time for Plan C. You guys ready for Plan C? Drop a 1 in the chat if you're ready for Plan C. If you're trying to win 1,000 USDT, drop a 1 in the chat, baby. For the chickens drinking water. Actually, let me get some music on. Let me get some music on. Here we go. All right. We got a lot of ones in the chat, baby. All right, here's what I want you to do. I want you to type in the chat, I love Bitcoin. Spam the chat with I love Bitcoin. And then I'm going to randomly scroll my mouse over one of you people. And whoever wins, then we'll do a private message to get the address. That's the only way I think we're going to be able to do it. All right, go. Say I love Bitcoin in the chat. Nice. You guys are coming in quick with the I love Bitcoins. Keep spamming it, baby. Here we go. All right, you guys spam it. Shout out to TRT community. Keep spamming it. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a random screenshot, and whatever name the mouse is on and highlighted during this screenshot, that is the winner. Here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Boom, baby. Let's see who's our winner. Boo Boo Gaming. Boo Boo Gaming. I love Bitcoin. Shout out to Boo Boo Gaming for loving Bitcoin. Man, Boo Boo Gaming, shout out to you. Congratulations, Boo Boo Gaming. B-U-B-U Gaming. All right, Boo Boo Gaming. What you need to do now, man, is you need to somehow reach out to me. All right, Boo Boo Gaming. You the man. Congratulations, Boo Boo Gaming. Boo Boo. You are the winner. Shout out to Boo Boo Gaming. Boo Boo Gaming. Are you in my Discord group? Are you in my free Discord? Are you in the Discord, Boo Boo? Let me see. Hang on. All right, Boo Boo, I just made you a moderator. Now you can type your address in the chat. All right, Boo Boo? Type your Tether address in the chat. Yeah, Boo Boo? Now that you're a moderator, it will allow you to send. All right? So Boo Boo, just type your USDT address in the chat. Now that you're a moderator, it won't filter you out. And I will send that over to you, my friend. All right, awesome. All right, don't worry if you're in the free Discord, man, because look, now we can just get it right here now that you're a moderator. Yep, that's fine. TRC20 USDT, man. That is good. That'll work. That'll work. Yep, that's it, Boo Boo Gaming. TRC20 USDT, man. Just type it in the chat. All right, awesome. Thank you, Boo Boo Gaming. All right, I'm about to send you 1,005 USDT. 5 just because you're so dang cool, man. 5 just because you're so dang cool. All right, man. Just sent it. Should be over soon. It's pending on Bing X. Well, there we go. Shout out to Boo Boo Gaming. My man, Boo Boo Gaming winning 1,000 USDT. That's legit, man. How's Bitcoin doing? Is she pumping or is she dumping? Is she pumping or is she dumping? Yo, check it. Hey, Bitcoin, man, what you gonna do? Shout out to our winner. His name is Boo Boo. He typed it in the chat, chilling out real fat. Then I picked his number. It was just like that. Hey, then I went up into the exchange and I set it real up. Ain't no loose change. 1,000 USDT. If you know what I mean. That's how we're doing it every day. Sitting on the screen, trading Bitcoin price. Going really high, JP, man, pumping it up. Bitcoin's gonna fly. Got the blue candles and the purple coming down like Barney the dinosaur with a big frown. Hey, how come we thought it was okay for a guy in a costume to chill every day with our kids after school? We think he's a fool, taking them out, going in the pool. That's weird, don't matter as long as you don't got a beard on your face, doing it with the skirt, man. With the keyboard, typing every day, man. Boo Boo for the win, man. About to get paid. Got Mark Mezzi chilling up in the chat. Kmar, the gift of freestyle is just like that. Got the FUD expert fire going even higher. Yo, Jason Bangs, let's go in the squire, man. RM loves me, I love you too. Legit killers got the fire, what do? Mr. Pumperline, 2K likes, man. Going really far when I'm riding my bike. Over here I got the anti-FOMO mask. Shout out to ZOOMEX, sending me this stuff real fast. Cover your eyes when the chart is going real too fast. When you're doing it, when you're trading with the blast. People still typing I love Bitcoin. Shout out to Aaron G. Shout out to Aaron G. Shout out to Dominique de Graaf, bro. An OG in the chat right now, man. You're one of the first giveaway winners, aren't you, man? Shout out to Boo Boo. Shout out to RM. Shout out to Mo11. Shout out to TRT community. Yo, Bitcoin pumping, man. Do you know what I mean? We're making those gains like we're on TRT. Oh man, I was a little off beat, but that could have been a good freestyle right there. I might be able to get back into my flow. I feel like I could go some places with that one. Bitcoin pumping, if you know what I mean, man. We're about to make those gains like we're on TRT, man. Trend really hard and eat really clean. Bitcoin going high and it's not my friend because I took the short from the exact bottom. Hopefully my wife don't find out that I am rotten, cause I lost everything that we had. I gambled it all away and it was so bad, but hey, I thought I saw the perfect trade. So I put my whole account and I gambled in spades. When I got liquidated, I tried again and and I bet the whole farm, including all the laying hens. Now I don't have eggs to eat every day, but that's okay, cause I'm on TRT. Hey, making the gains every day with the testosterone high, going straight to the deltoids, man. Chicken wings fly, now we're here. RM says he loves me, I love you too, and we got the bull boy and Manny. Don't know what I'm saying, but Boo Boo's our winner. Can't wait to end the stream and eat a chicken dinner. Tomorrow. All right. Well, guys, it's been a great stream. Look, I don't take myself seriously. But look, I take my walk with the Lord very seriously. My relationship with Jesus means everything to me. It gives me hope and purpose and meaning in life because everything is so futile without a transcendent purpose. And I know not everyone's religious, but I do pray that everybody watching and listening to this stream is blessed in the name of Jesus. May the Lord bless you and protect you. May he shine light upon you. May he have grace upon you. And may the Lord turn his face towards you and give you wholeness. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Peace.